Good morning and welcome to Daybreak Live, where the headlines meet perspective and the stories behind the stories come to life. I'm Oluwayemi Adelakun.
And I am Samson Balogun. It's a brand new day. And as always, we are here to set the tone for informed conversations and critical engagement across Nigeria and beyond.
We begin with our Daybreakers. Political ambition takes center stage as Obasanjo's daughter declares I'll be the next Ogun governor, a bold statement that is already stirring conversations across party lines and within Ogun State evolving political landscape.
All right, what does this declaration signal? A generational shift and, of course, a political recalibration or the beginning of a fierce contest for power. We'll unpack the early reactions and what it could mean for the state's political future.
And before that, let's take a look at today's weather conditions across the country. Of course, we'll do that after the G's from the latest atmospheric outlook to what you should expect as you step out today. We've got you covered.
And after the weather report, we'll bring you comprehensive news updates and the major developments shaping governance, the economy, and national security.
Definitely. Then it's time for our newspaper headlines and analysis. Joining us is our client Victor, a seasoned public affairs analyst who will help us interrogate the narratives driving today's front pages and separate political rhetoric from policy reality.
Our big story this morning: security votes and accountability in Nigeria. Billions allocated annually in the name of security. But how transparent is the spending is a big question. And how accountable are those entrusted with these funds? To examine the structure, the scrutiny, and the reforms needed, we'll be speaking with Dr. Kunle Okwala, a respected security expert.
Definitely. And later on Trend Watch, we spotlight the conversations dominating social platforms and public discourse.
This is Daybreak Live, where insight meets impact. And of course, we get started this morning.
Definitely. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Yemi. Good to have you back on the show.
Definitely. Good to have you back as well.
Well, of course, just like we always say on this style, the headlines keep evolving, new stories, especially ones that bother the Nigerian people. Right. And this actually takes us to Ogun State this month, where the son of the former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria from 1999 to 2007, and that is former President Chief Olusegun Obasanjo. Right. The daughter, Chief Mrs. Iyabo Obasanjo, has come out to say, look, I am going to be the next governor of Ogun State. And that's a statement of intent. It's a bold one, actually, to have actually come out to say, it's not like I'm going to contest. It's the fact that she means business. I'm going to be the next governor. And what mechanisms are going to be put in place to make sure that this is achieved, that's a very big question. And before someone comes out to make such a bold statement, must have put a lot of things in place.
Definitely. Yeah. Okay, you're very spot on, and of course, looking at, I think I read the entire story, early this morning, and I saw that, she was on radio, a particular radio station, Ogun State, and then that was where she made this bold statement to say she would be the next governor. And of course, she's now in the APC. Once a senator of this country, she used to be a senator, many years back. And then she said that she noticed that, they've not had any governor from Ogun West. And then because of that, she's coming out as someone from that region to contest, and then she will also ensure that even after another governor will emerge from Ogun West, because in the last about 50 years since the state was created, they've never had any governor from that region. It's always been from the Ogun East and then the like. So she's saying she wants to be governor, and then some just are asking, is she coming up because of the popularity of her father to see that, my father was a president in one time, was a president
Probably
of this
banking
country.
On the popularity.
Exactly, but then away from that, I think she's also been in politics for quite a number of years, though there was a time that, we didn't really hear much about her, after she became senator, but then she's back now to say that I want to contest. And then one more thing that people are asking is, is it realistic? for looking at, the politics of Nigeria in the last few years now. We've not had any female governor in Nigeria. The best we had was acting. And that was in Anambra, I think around 2006 to 2007, speaking about Ngozi Itiaba. She acted because, the governor was impeached and she was the deputy. So the best we've seen is deputy governor, for females. We've not had any, female governor. And I think we were close in 2023.
Remember the case of Mama Taraba?
Exactly. And then we were a bit close in 2023, speaking about Binani, Aisha Binani. And then I think at some point when the election was conducted, we heard inconclusive, and then people were asking.
And when it was concluded?
And when it was concluded, she didn't win the election. But then I think one rep came out to declare the winner, and then that caused a lot of controversies in the country. But at the end of the day, Ahmadu Fintiri, remained governor. That was the incumbent governor at that time. So people are asking, maybe some are even saying Obasanjo's daughter should go and take lessons from Binani. But then at the end of the day, I want to believe that the politics of Nigeria can accommodate, female governors. Yes, we've not seen it before, but soon we have to start it. If we keep having that mindset that it's not possible to have a female governor in Nigeria, we will never have it. But then people must keep trying to ensure that at some point, somebody, we get it. Really.
Well, I think politics of the North and that of the Southwest is a little bit different, judging by the fact that leadership in the North is a blend of politics and religion. And, in some cases, you would have some religions saying women cannot lead. And that has actually informed the sentiment in those areas, especially for places like the North. But in the Southwest, once we have a candidate that is that has that political will, and definitely a female candidate that has the route to get it done, I think it might likely work in the Southwest rather than the North. But then, that's not the only thing that bothers me, if that statement was made by Senator Yabo Obasanjo. What bothers me is the fact that if you look at the set of people she'll be contesting with in the APC, that says a lot about our chances of being governor of Ogun State. Now, let's go to the list of potential candidates for the APC, and of course, people who have actually shown interest. You'll find current Senator Solomon Olamilekan Yayi, is currently representing Ogun West, former Senator Lagos West, and is widely considered as the front-runner. His massive grassroots structure and the west-to-west agenda, power moving to Ogun West, which he's been pushing for a few years now, says a lot about his own chances too. Okay. Honorable Adekunle Akinlade was formerly a candidate of the AA, of course, supported by the former governor, Ibikunle Amosun, in the last election against the sitting governor, Honorable Governor Dapo Abiodun, right there. So he has the backing of, let's say, godfatherism might also play a role in that too. And you have Senator Shuaibu Afolabi Salisu, who is representing Ogun Central as we speak, and is seen as an intellectual powerhouse with deep ties with the current administration, building on future together agenda, okay, which is something that might also work. He also has someone who might likely serve as a godfather in the sitting governor in Ogun State. Let's also talk about Tokunbo Talabi. He's the current secretary to the state government, SSG, and as a close confidant of the governor, Dapo Abiodun, he also stands a chance. We have seen people putting their SSG forward for positions like this in the past. They might likely work in his favor. And then, away from all of that, if she eventually wins the ticket, who are the people she's going to contest against if they also get the tickets from their own party too? That is, let's talk about the PDP, and we can talk about Oladipo Ladi Adebutu of the PDP, and the 2023 runner-up, remaining the face of the PDP in the state, despite all the challenges they have faced. He's still been there. Segun Showunmi, known for his oratory and long-term loyalty to the PDP, he's been there. He has never left the party. Also, there's a chance he gets the ticket of the PDP, if only PDP will be on the ballot. And
so he's been dining with the opposition.
Of course. But then, Olubuyi Otegbeye, the 2023 candidate for the ADC, he remains a key figure in the PDP since he returned to the party. So, there are chances that all these ones will also get the ticket of the PDP and some other political parties, likely ADC, Labour Party, and the likes. But then, let's talk about the key factors shaping 2027 race in Ogun State. Ogun West agitation is something that people have been talking about, and that favors Senator Yabo Obasanjo because she's also from that region. So what will now happen if all these permutations are put together? I feel like chances are slim to actually discuss who will get the ticket of the APC as it stands, and there are chances that some people might eventually leave the party. Akinlade, for example, left the APC under the instruction of the former governor, Senator Ibikunle Amosun in I think that was the first time of Governor Dapo Abiodun, contested against him under AA, and eventually lost the election, even though he pulled massive votes in that party too, relatively unknown political party in Ogun State at that time. So I want to believe that going into the 2027 general elections, it is more than making statements. It's about putting your foot forward and see what exactly you can do differently to get the ticket of your political party.
Yeah, I think you're very spot on. And then let me quickly speak on the whole primary thing, because just like you mentioned, it might be a little bit difficult for her to get the ticket.
Especially now that it's no longer business as usual, no more delegates. It's about open primaries. Okay, so members of the party have every right to come out for primaries and say, this is the person we want to be the flag bearer of our political. It's going to be a long process.
Yeah, and then the implication is, just like they say, you might need to spend more. Right. I don't know why they say that, but then some political, exactly, some politicians are coming out to say, really, you don't need to spend more. Even let me talk about, Obasanjo's daughter now. She has come out to say that, she entered this race with two disadvantages. The first one is she entered late. The second one is she's going through financial challenges. And then, yeah, I don't want to sound, pessimistic right now, but then we really cannot tell, because if someone of a caliber is coming out to say, I'm having financial challenges, you might need to want to explain it better, because really there was a time that Peter Obi said, he's not going to spend shishi. At the end of the day, we see him spending more than shishi. So you really cannot tell, you cannot explain, that you cannot really explain what she means by that. And then away from that, she also said, I don't think money makes elections. She said, I know that it's hard to believe in Nigeria where money is so important in everything. I believe that people are good people and they know who will do right by them. I mean, it's up to her. I like her mindset about politics, but at the end of the day, we need to be realistic. Before you can win an election in Nigeria, you will spend money. Even people who said, you will spend money. Whether you spend it and make it open to the people, or you spend, in private, you will spend money. So I want to believe that people who believe in her vision, maybe they will be willing to support her. And of course, good luck to her. Just one more thing now before I leave. When Binani contested under the APC, majority of Nigerians felt she was going to win the election because of our APC. She was popular. Even people from the southwest were talking about her. Ibadan people were talking about Binani. Right. And then she contested, in Adamawa. So most persons felt she was going to win that election because of the APC factor. But she lost to PDP. So now she's contesting other APC. So she will need more than the popularity of APC. As a matter of fact, the first thing for her to do now, her first goal is to get the ticket. When she gets the ticket, she can now begin to think of how to now win the entire election, the governorship election. So the first thing for her now is to begin to look for ways to win the hearts of the people, of the party members, to get the ticket. And then she's going to be contesting with very big shot in the party as well. So good luck to her. I want to believe that she's been able to pick one or two from her father, because her father is a great politician. Abid was president, for 2 terms and things like that. So good luck to her. So, but then let's not see this as okay, because she's going to bank on the popularity of her father. This is not the first time that the daughter of the son of a popular politician will contest and lose. We have seen it before. But then, I want to believe that, she has what it takes. If at all she doesn't even win, let's her even try, so that other women who are also thinking about contesting as governor will not feel discouraged to also come out. So now that she's coming out, I want to believe that she's encouraging thousands of other women, in Nigeria to also come out, even if not for governor, maybe for other, positions in politics.
Well, I'm going to talk about 2 things that might be one of the major undoings of Senator Yabo Obasanjo in the next general elections. One is power of incumbency. Okay, you see that you belong in the camp of the sitting governor, so that things can be smooth for you, especially when trying to clinch the ticket. Or you belong in the category of people who are actually kingmakers in the state. And whether you like it or not, Senator Ibikunle Amosun still remains a kingmaker in Ogun State as we speak. It might change tomorrow, but until tomorrow comes, we believe in today. And these 2 things, I want to believe Senator Yabo Obasanjo knows exactly where to queue. Because even in Ogun State, the party is divided. Some are loyalists of the sitting governor. Don't forget that they were at loggerheads about who takes the soul of the party. since Governor Dakwal Biodun won the election in his first time. There has been a divide. In fact, Senator Bukula Amosun was not in his corner in the last general election that happened, and that was 2023. So that might be a problem for Senator Yabo Basojo. Where exactly do you belong? And how powerful is your bloc that makes it so easy for you that when it comes to picking up the ticket, you get the ticket? Because as it stands, the most important thing right now is to get the backing of your political party. Get the ticket, and then the rest happens at the polls. But as long as you don't have the ticket, I mean, we cannot talk about ambitions, because ambition stops there. And also, I want to talk about the chances of women, just like you rightly mentioned the other time, to become governor in any state in Nigeria. It has been so slim. And you mentioned Etiaba the other time, who was acting governor just for a few period of time, and then the sitting governor came back to office. I think the fact that people, I think even Nigerians have been, I want to put it this way, they have been streamlined to believe that only men can actually become governors, or probably be at the corridor of power. But unfortunately, it is not so. If people have if women have the political will, and they, of course, they have the tentacles spread across the place to get it done, why not give them the opportunity? And sadly, Mama Taraba, as we were saying the other time, will not be on the ballot in the next election because she passed away in 2021 at the age of 61 in Cairo. Of course, despite all she put in place, everything she did, her popularity put to check, and everything, even spent a lot of money. Unfortunately, she could not get that seat. And the sitting governor was returned to office. And that brings me to another issue. Even though that's not going to happen in Ogun State, usually sitting governors, it's very difficult to unseat them in Nigeria. I don't think it is so common to unseat a sitting governor. It has happened in Oyo State before, and that was when former governor of Oyo State, I think that was Lamidi Adesina at that time, was had to leave office because Senator Rashid Adewale Ladoja won an election at that time. It has happened before. Governor Isiaka Abiola Ajimobi happened to be the co-chair of Oyo State, the first governor to actually, since the new democracy, to be in office back-to-back terms. But what I'm trying to say in essence is that in some places where there are certain governors, you hardly see when they say, oh, someone came and then swept a sitting governor out of office. Whether you like it or not, that sitting governor is returning back to office. But that is not happening in Ogun State. So it's an advantage for Senator Yabo Basojo.
That was, I mean,
of course, final
running second term
as governor. So where do you belong is the question I'm ultimately going to ask this morning. Do you belong in the class of the kingmakers in the states, or you belong in the class of the sitting governor? For a sitting governor, he knows exactly what to do to introduce you to the ruling class, people who are actually the kingmakers. But if you don't belong in any of these two classes, of course, some people play the Jagba politics. They leave everyone in the state and go to the federal level. They create a relationship, a rapport, and then bring the ticket back home. It has happened before. Senator Teslim Kolawole for Larin State in Oyo State. Everyone was talking about who was going to get the ticket in Oyo State. I went to Abuja. He brought the ticket home, and he became the flag bearer of his political party at that time. So will Jagba politics also be played in Ogun State? Is a big question. So let's wait and keep our fingers crossed. She mentioned that she came in late, and she's also having financial challenges, which for me, there are two things that will be a problem for anybody that wants to contest an election in Nigeria. One, you start early. You start mobilizing. Create an army of men and women who are going to say, look, you cannot push this person aside. Give her a fair opportunity to contest. That, for me, I don't think she has it at this time, because as she mentioned, it might not really be that easy for her. And two, because the reason I said that is because in Nigeria, people rarely believe in your dreams, hopes, aims, ambitions. Say you want to become governor. They believe in what you bring to the table, especially when it comes to finances within your political party. I'm not saying to the general voting bloc now, because when you go to the public, there are people who are elites who are going to believe in what you are bringing to the table as a politician. Oh, this is my manifesto. We trust you. We know that you are going to do this. Some people believe in that. And some people believe in the 20, 15, 10, 5,000 they are going to get from you on election day, which clearly Senator Yabo Obasanjo does not have at this time, according to what he said.
Well, never say never, because when politicians tell you they don't have money.
The big question is, you know, I do ask this question on any show. I say, who is bankrolling you? Okay, it might seem like an insult. Are you bankrolling yourself, or someone is out there saying, look, don't worry, you go, and then we invest in you. When you win the election, of course, people have interest. That's why they put the money out there. But let's see what will happen. Probably, one way or the other, as she says she doesn't have one, probably she's still trying to hide one or two things. And when the time comes to spend the money, we'll see. Someone said something just before we leave this topic. I said, I was at a place telling the people what exactly I have for them. And then I gave them 700,000 naira. Okay? And someone else came and gave them 10 million naira. Obviously, they turned their back on that person and said, look, we don't think we can work with you. There's someone else who has a lot of money. So the interest of the general public does not really matter to politicians.
Forget national politics and SUG politics. That can actually give you, election success. Let's not even talk about national politics, because, I mean, these are the issues that will happen. But let me quickly cite an example. The son of a former president of this country said when his father was president, people would call him randomly, and then they would give him millions of naira. And at the end of the day, they will call back to tell him, please, we need a favor from you. We want to speak with your father. So that tells you that, because of your father, some persons might want to support her, because of her father. But then can that amount to, political success? Because at the end of the day, just like you mentioned, alignment and interest, those are the two major factors that will determine whether you will win election or not. So I want to believe that, Obasanjo's daughter will get some level of support from some certain persons who will not even come out boldly to say, we want to support you. They will fund her. I mean, this is pure PR. She went on radio to say, I'm having financial challenges and things like that.
Of course, I'm open to support.
She has a target audience. She has a target audience. She's speaking to some persons in Ogun State, even outside of Ogun State, because her father is a national politician, not just Ogun State now. So, but then at the end of the day, with that amount to success, so I don't know, maybe this will get to her now. But at the end of the day, she will need more than that. She will need the support of some persons, grassroots. She will need the support of those people to actually win the election. And then, does she appeal, to these people, speaking about the grass, not just in Ogun West now, because you cannot bank on Ogun West to win the entire election.
About your senatorial list.
Exactly.
It's about the whole of Ogun State.
And then she was senator many years back. Some persons don't even remember. A lot of persons cannot even tell you, Nigerians cannot tell you that, okay, they remember that, she was, a senator at one point in time. So I think she stayed too long from politics. She withdrew for quite a number of years, and maybe that's why it's difficult for some persons to still believe in her. But never saying anything can change, even amongst friends. Money can change a lot of things. I've witnessed several SUG elections, and I saw how money...
Even friends will turn on you.
Friends, they will be hailing you. They be hailing you, president, but they will shock you on election day.
That's quite interesting. But then, well, I do hope that Senator Yabo Obasanjo listens to all of this, and then maybe put them to good use. Might be come in handy when the election finally dawns on us shortly. And that takes us to weather report this morning. Let's see what the weather looks like across the country, and we'll be starting with the ancient city of Ibadan. As we speak in Ibadan, weather currently feels like 25 degrees Celsius. And later in the morning, there will be an increase by 4 degrees Celsius to 29 degrees Celsius, with the weather expected to be partly cloudy and the humidity to be around 1%. In the afternoon, weather will rise further to 36 degrees Celsius, remaining partly cloudy and humidity at 0%. It will drop. There will be a drastic drop to 28 degrees Celsius in the evening, mostly cloudy, humidity expected to be around 4%. It will remain mostly cloudy overnight, with weather dropping to 25 degrees Celsius and humidity at 3% right here in Ibadan today.
Okay, let's take you to Ilorin East Kwara. Weather feels like 23 degrees Celsius, and of course, still in the morning is expected to be around 29 degrees Celsius. Sunny around 0%, and in the afternoon, there's a sharp rise to 38 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy around 0%. In the evening, it drops to 30 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy around 0%, and overnight, 25 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy around 1%. All
right, and to the state we just spoke about, and that is the gateway state, Ogun. As we speak, weather currently feels like 29 degrees Celsius in Ogun. And later in the morning, it will rise just by a degree to 30 degrees Celsius, remaining partly cloudy with humidity expected to be around 1%. It will rise just like Ibadan to 36 degrees Celsius in the afternoon, remaining partly cloudy, humidity at 0%. And by evening, it will drop to 29 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy, humidity at 4%. And overnight, it will drop by 3 degrees Celsius to 26 degrees Celsius, remaining partly cloudy overnight and the humidity at 3% right there in Ogun State today.
Okay, so very close to Ogun. Let's take you to Lagos. Weather feels like 32 degrees Celsius, and later is expected to be around 29 degrees Celsius still in the morning. Partly cloudy around 14%. In the afternoon, we have a rise to 31 degrees Celsius, mostly sunny around 2%. In the evening, it drops to 29 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy around 0%. And overnight, it drops further to 27 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy around 3%.
All right, from the center of excellence in the southwest, we'll move straight to the south-south this morning. And we are talking about Port Harcourt, River State. And weather in Port Harcourt as we speak currently feels like 22 degrees Celsius. But there will be a sharp increase later in the morning by 5 degrees Celsius to 27 degrees Celsius, with weather expected to be partly cloudy. No promise of rainfall today. Humidity is expected to be around 2%. It will rise a little bit further to 30 degrees Celsius, with weather being expected to be mostly cloudy and humidity at 5%. In the evening, it will drop to 24 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy, humidity at 1%. It will return to being mostly cloudy overnight, with weather dropping to 22 degrees Celsius and humidity around 3% right there in Port Harcourt, River State today.
Okay, let's take you to Calabar Municipal, Cross River. Weather feels like 24 degrees Celsius, and later in the morning is expected to be around 30 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy around 1%. In the afternoon, we have 33 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy around 5%. And in the evening, we have 26 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy around 6%. And overnight, 25 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy around 12%.
All right, moving on, still in the south, but in the southeast as we speak. Let's go to Enugu North in Enugu State this morning. Weather in Enugu currently feels like 24 degrees Celsius as we speak, just like what we have in Cross River right now. And later in the morning, it will rise to 30 degrees Celsius while being mostly sunny right there, humidity at 1%. It will remain mostly sunny in the afternoon, with weather increasing further to 36 degrees Celsius and humidity at 0%. But the weather will be clear in the evening, dropping to 28 degrees Celsius and humidity remaining 0%. And overnight, it will drop further to 24 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy, and humidity is expected to be around 3% right there in Enugu North this morning.
Okay, let's take you to Abuja FCT. Weather feels like 23 degrees Celsius, and later in the morning is expected to be around 30 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy around 0%. In the afternoon, we have 36 degrees Celsius, mostly sunny around 0%. And in the evening, it drops to 28 degrees Celsius, clear around 0%. And overnight, 24 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy around 0%. And that's what we have for FCT this morning.
All right, let's take you to the largest state in Nigeria, and that is talking about Suleja in Niger State. Right now, weather currently feels like 23 degrees Celsius in Suleja, but it will be sunny later in the morning at 30 degrees Celsius and humidity around 0%. And by afternoon, it will be a drastic rise to 37 degrees Celsius, with weather expected to be partly cloudy. By evening, it will drop to 28 degrees Celsius, expected to be mostly clear, and overnight it will drop further to 24 degrees Celsius, weather expected to be partly cloudy right there in Suleja, Niger State today.
Okay, let's take a look at Borno, Maiduguri. Weather feels like 18 degrees Celsius, and later this morning is expected to be around 27 degrees Celsius, sunny around 0%, and in the afternoon we have 33 degrees Celsius, mostly sunny around 0% as well, and in the evening 24 degrees Celsius, clear around 0%, and overnight 19 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy around 0%, and that's what we have for Borno this morning.
And lastly, a weather report this morning will take this one from Kano State, and that's Kano Municipal. Just a slight difference to what we have in Borno State, with weather currently at 17 degrees Celsius. And later in the morning to rise to 24 degrees Celsius, expected to be sunny. And by afternoon, it will rise drastically to 32 degrees Celsius, mostly sunny right there. But the weather is expected to be clear in the evening, dropping to 24 degrees Celsius. And by overnight, it is expected to be partly cloudy, with weather expected to be around 18 degrees Celsius right there in Kano Municipal, Kano State today. And that will be all we can take on weather reports. We say thank you for being a part of the show so far. Do well to link up with us on all socials, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast, and on X, formerly Twitter, at Dominion Cast. You can watch us live on our website at www.dominion.org.ng, dominion.org.ng. Do also subscribe to our YouTube channel at Dominion Broadcast. And you can also follow us on our Facebook, like and follow at Dominion Broadcast Television. Drop your comment right there as we do the show live, and of course we'll take your comments on this show. It is time to go on a short break, and when we return, we take the news. Be back.
Hello and welcome. This is Daybreak News on Dominion Television. I'm Oluwayemi Adelakun. President Bola Tinubu has decorated Tunde Disu as the Acting Inspector General of Police at the State House, Abuja. The ceremony was attended by the National Security Advisor, Nuru Badu, Chief of Staff, Femi Gbetabiamila, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, and the immediate past IGP, Kayode Gbetokun. Disu's appointment follows Gbetokun's resignation, which the president accepted. Although Disu is due for retirement in April 2026, the Amendment Police Act allows an IGP to serve a 4-year tenure, potentially keeping him in office until 2030. An improvised explosive device suspected to have been planted by bandits has detonated along the Gusau and Twa highway in Zamfara State. The explosion occurred between Kaseri and Magazi villages in Safa local government area after a cement-laden trailer reportedly ran over the device. Residents have called on security agencies to increase patrols and surveillance along the busy route to prevent further attacks. They also prayed for the victims and appealed for lasting peace in the area. The arraignment of former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai was stalled due to his absence in court. Prosecutors told the court he is in the custody of the Independent Corrupt Practices and All the Related Offences Commission and could not be produced. Justice Joyce Abdulmalik adjourned the case to April 23, 2026. The prosecution confirmed the charges are bailable but opposed an immediate hearing of the bail application. The defense argued that continued detention without arraignment is unjustified. The Oyo State government has approved 900 million naira as counterpart funding for the construction of 68 kilometers of roads across the state. The approval enables the state to access over 16.2 billion naira in funding from the International Development Association and the Agence Française de Development. Commissioner of Information, Prince Dr. Oyelade, disclosed this after the State Executive Council meeting in Ibadan. He said the approval will kickstart critical road rehabilitation projects, including the 8.4-kilometer Fashola Farm Settlement Road, the 37-kilometer Alako-Idia Batake Oloa Farm Settlement and Idai Roads, and the 22-kilometer Lukoye Junction and Ikere Roads. The council also approved 2.6 billion naira for the expansion and maintenance of the Light Up Oyo infrastructure projects in 2026. In addition, the Executive Council approved an upward review of the contract for the Oyo State Business Process Automation Project. The Oyo State Police Command has said it has arrested 3 suspected armed robbers and recovered goods worth over 31 million naira in Ibadan. Police said the suspect allegedly robbed a victim at gunpoint along the Ashejere axis before operators tracked them to Ogbomoso. Recovered items include a truck loaded with 2,000 bags of poultry feed valued at over 31 million naira, a cutlass and a vehicle number plate. Commissioner of Police Femi Aruna commended residents for providing timely intelligence and assured that efforts are ongoing to arrest all the members of the gang. The suspects are currently assisting with investigations. The Nigerian Union of Journalists in partnership with Google has launched a training program on artificial intelligence for media professionals. The workshop aims to equip journalists with digital skills to navigate the evolving media landscape, focusing on AI tools for news gathering, fact-checking, content production, and improving newsroom efficiency. Correspondent Damilola Dadu reports.
The Nigerian Union of Journalists, Oyo State Council, has organized a training program on artificial intelligence in collaboration with Google as part of its effort to strengthen digital journalism in the country. The training, which attracted journalists from different media organizations, focused on the use of Google AI tools to enhance news gathering, fact-checking, content creation, and audience engagement. Speaking at the event, the NUJ chairman, Oyo State Council, Mr. Akeem Abbas, said the initiative was aimed at equipping journalists with modern tools needed to remain relevant in a fast-changing media environment. He noted that artificial intelligence is reshaping newsroom operations globally, making it necessary for media practitioners to understand how to use AI responsibly and effectively.
We must look at the happenings on the media landscape, and looking at it, you will know that it's an era of fake news, misinformation, the era that we use tools, a lot of tools like AI, and if you are using AI, if you can use it positively, then we'll all be better for it. So that's why we felt those are some of the tools that our members are supposed to use and they must have knowledge of, and that is why we feel, well, let's expose our members to this kind of trainings so that when they know it, they can be able to use AI positively, and it will be able to enhance their professional work, and will be better. The society also will be better for it.
Facilitators highlighted practical application of AI in journalism, including automated research transcription, data analysis, and verification of online content.
This training has opened my eyes to how to do that and to know what to search for, and even to use Google Trends. So many things that I learned in the training, and this also will go to my organization.
Speaking at the event, the General Manager TV of the Dominion Brokers Group, Mrs. Ronke Giwa Onofua, and the Chairman Broadcasting Corporation of Oyo State, Mrs. Dotun Olaito, including some of the participants, described the training as timely, saying it will broaden knowledge of journalists on how to integrate AI into their daily reporting without compromising professional standards.
Media practitioners do a lot for the society and in the society, and I think it's about time that we start to do things in a more evolved way. That life has evolved and the world has evolved to becoming more technologically inclined.
As the world is evolving, we're having more and more and more advance in technology. So that is a clarion call for the young reporters, young journalists to wake up now, so that you will not only be employed, you will not only be relevant, you will be indispensable.
So AI is the most transformative technology that we're going to face in our lifetimes right now, right? It's transforming everything from agriculture to healthcare to education to everything, and it's especially transforming how media and journalism is done.
The NUJ reiterated its commitment to continuous capacity building, adding that more technology-driven training would be organized to enhance professionalism and improve the quality of journalism in Nigeria. Damilola Daudu reporting for Dominion News.
In business, Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Olayemi Dosu, said that 20 banks have raised 4.05 trillion naira under the ongoing recapitalization exercise. It made this known after the 304th Monetary Policy Committee meeting in Abuja. Cardoso said the banks met the new minimum capital requirement ahead of the March 31, 2026 deadline, while 13 others are yet to comply. He added that over 71% of the funds were raised locally, with the rest coming from foreign investors. Meanwhile, the MPC reduced the benchmark interest rate by 50 basis points to 26.5%. And in sport, 11 players have arrived at the Super Falcons camp in Yaoundé ahead of international friendlies against Cameroon's indomitable Lionesses, and coach Justin Madugu and his technical crew opened camp on Tuesday. Captain Rasheedat Ajibade is among the early arrivals. 14 more players are expected. The team will hold its first training session tonight. The first friendly comes up on Saturday, with a second match scheduled for Tuesday. Both sides are using the games to prepare for the 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations. You can visit our website on www.dominion.org.ng to watch us live and interact with us. You can also follow us across our social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and LinkedIn at Dominion Broadcast, and X at Dominion Cars. That's Daybreak News. I'm Oluwayemi Adelakun saying thank you for listening and good morning. Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us this morning. This is Newspaper Headlines and Analysis. I'm Oluwayemi Adelako, and I have with me in the studio Victor Akinlane, who is a public affairs analyst. Welcome on board this morning.
Thank you.
Let's start with Nigerian News Direct. I have a banner headline that says, Tinubu tax acting IGP to restore peace, rebuild confidence and please. And then he also said quite a number of things, and that would take me back to the Punch newspaper, which the banner headline that says, Disu declares total war on police corruption, impunity. That headline asks his riders, Tinubu decorate acting IG, the man's new MPF. Nigerians are my bosses. Disu pledges time up for lawless, dirty officers, says new IG. It appears that he can hear the complaints of Nigerians, especially with his boss that just left office, speaking about former IGP Betoko. A lot of persons felt he did quite a number of things that he shouldn't have done while he was in office. Some felt he allowed criminals to roam about the country, things like allegedly. We don't know whether there's going to be a probe now that he's out of office. Talk about the likes of Shore, the likes of Adeyoju. They said that some are even sounding it more like a warning to this new IGP to say, do not follow the footsteps of your boss. Speaking about the things that he did. Now he's coming to say, I'm declaring war on police corruption. Can we begin to look out for things he's going to do, more like reforms, and in police?
Yeah, we look forward to those reforms. The police force, that's commission, didn't do well, obviously, during Betoko. We have, of course, like we've all seen, criminals, crimes here and there. In fact, I thought there was a law years ago that says there shouldn't be police officers on the highway. There are loads of them on highways now during Egbetokun. So yeah, the police force needs a lot of reforms, a lot of reformation, a lot. So I want to link that speech to the speech of the sworn-in Christopher Musa, am I right? The chief of army staff, who said we will not negotiate with criminals, we will not do this, we will not do that. And he has kept to his words. So if he too is saying this, I think he means well, and God helps him to keep to his words. Okay,
the former IGP also made these declarations, maybe not the exact words, but when he came in, he also said, things like, okay, I'm going to ensure that, we catch the bad guys, things like that, the police and the force will get better. So why should Nigerians believe this new IGP?
The thing is, like I've always said this, that most of the times when you have a plan, you have a strategy, and then you get to a public office and you realize that there are a lot of factors that will not let your strategies come to play. It doesn't mean you are a bad person. It just means that maybe the system is corrupt and there has to be some proper correction from the foundation. And maybe you don't have the capacity to go that far, or you just feel if I try to do some things, it might be a suicidal mission of myself. So you just tie your hands. But of course, we have seen a lot of things that didn't play so well in his own time. So if this man comes now and says he would do all of those things he said he would do, I'm sure he knows that he has raised an alarm on himself. Once he fails to do as he said, Nigerians will come for him straight. So I believe he knows the repercussion of what he said.
Okay, so let's take a look at another headline, still looking at Punch. I have this one that says, PDP Wike marking day, camps lock-ons ahead of March convention. I want to believe that that's the faction of Wike. And of course, the last convention that held in Ibadan, Wike and the likes of Fire, she said it was more of an amala, hangout. It wasn't a convention because some persons who ought to be there were not there. And now I have this headline that I would love to link with this one that I just mentioned, and that's saying 2027. Kwakwanso marking the old closed door meeting. And some persons are saying, is it that Makinde is trying to woo Kwakwanso, or Kwakwanso is trying to woo Makinde? What do you make of all of this going on within the PDP? And then a lot of persons are saying, as far as they're concerned, PDP is gone. Let's just forget about it. As a matter of fact, there's another headline that I saw this morning, and it's talking about the fact that Ahmadu Fintiri is set to defect. And then quite a number of speakers have also left the PDP. So who are those still left in the People's Democratic Party? Do you think that convention worsened the situation of PDP? I'm talking about the last year convention now.
Three things you said together. Number one, I will start from the last thing you said. The convention that held in Ibadan, your state, didn't worsen anything. It gave the party a clearer picture of where they are, who is with them, and who is not with them. It also helped them to clarify where they are going. So it was not a waste of time, and it wasn't an Amala hangout like those other men said. So Wike and Fayose, blah blah blah, that faction wants to hold their own convention. Then let's have it. Let's see what they too can do. So when they have their convention, at least we have seen an Amala version. Then let's see if we will see a Salad version. Let's see what they too will pull. Let's see what they too would do. Let's see where they are going. You understand me? Okay. Then we now know, okay, does even PDP stand a chance in the coming election? That's it. Because, I don't want to talk much, but yeah, we have seen an Amala version. Let's see a better version, in quotes, and see what the Amala version can do and what the better version can do. Eventually, we are still in the party. Some have left. Some are still remaining. The ones that are remaining from different factions, let's see what will happen to the party. Then lastly, is Wike win Kwankwaso, or is it Kwankwaso win? Is Makinde win Kwankwaso, or is Kwankwaso doing the win? Either way, whoever is winning who is a good who. If there will be a collaboration, or if there will be an eventual collaboration between Makinde and Kwankwaso, it will be massive. It will be a good one, and I believe it will be for national interests, because these are two strong politicians coming from two different parts of the nation. Ex-governors, Makinde is not an ex-governor, but by 2027 he will be an ex-governor. He's wrapping up his tenure. Kwankwaso is an ex-governor, presidential candidate before. There's speculation that Makinde wants to that is likely going to be a running mate to someone, or he wants to contest as a president. We don't know yet. Speculations. So if two of them come together, I believe these are two strong forces coming together for the betterment of a people called Nigeria.
It's not even looking like Makinde or any other person in the PDP can contest under the PDP that we have now. Because, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, looking at what I've read, the faction of Makinde is not recognized by INEC. As a matter of fact, that might even bar them or any other person in the PDP from contesting for any position, in the next elections.
That faction that was not, what's the word now? That by INEC.
That wasn't recognized.
That is not recognized by INEC is just political. Simple. There are higher authorities, higher powers that have worked behind the scene to make that happen, alright? So it is just political. Listen, the people that were at that national convention in Ibadan, your state, we had that time the present chairman of PDP was there. All the chieftain of PDP that time, a larger percent of them were present. All their sitting PDP governors, except for Osun State, were present. So what nullifies that convention?
I mean, it is up to INEC, and I want to believe that the case is still in court. I mean, just
like I said, it's just political. There are some higher powers that's at work behind the scene. Okay,
away from PDP and whatever it is that is going on in that party, let's cross to Daily Independent and check out the headline that says, Bini attack APC proven to be terrorist organization. That's coming from the ADC. And of course, I also have another headline still speaking about that incident. And then the governor of Edo State have also come out to say that it was a case of ADC against ADC. He said, some persons who are not happy with whatever it is that is going on within the coalition party are the ones that staged that attack. And of course, it has nothing to do with APC or even the governor. Is that something that we can, is that something that Nigerians can accept? I mean, you were a Nigerian too, and then you've been able to study whatever it is that happened, the attack, and what, the governor said at the time, this is strained relationship, between the governor, the current governor, and of course, Peter Obi, and members of the ADC, really.
Two things. The governor will always say things. I've said this before. The governor, when things like this happen, the leader of anywhere it happens would always try to tone it down, to make it not as heavy as it's supposed to be, to put the nation or to put his people or our people at rest or at ease. At least for the time being, we will be at a moment. We will be at ease for some moments,
Okay.
even if there are later consequences. But at least for that moment, there will be ease.
Okay.
That's what every leader is expected to do in things like that. That's number one. Then number two, don't forget, he's an opposition. So he would first protect the interest of his party, or maybe first protect the interest of the people, then secondly protect the interest of his party.
Okay.
So I do not expect any better speech from that.
Okay, so away from that story now, let's talk about, El-Rufai. I want to believe that you've seen quite a number of headlines on that, and then he didn't appear in court yesterday, and as a matter of fact, the case has been, postponed. I mean, I think around April now. Let me read this headline from New Telegraph. I have this headline that says, alleged corruption, ICPC set to arraign El-Rufai as governor. And I really cannot, read this right now. But the report I read, earlier this morning was speaking to the fact that, they had to postpone because, he didn't appear in court. And then it appears that this case, they are trying to drag it. Is it because of who El-Rufai is? Because some persons are saying, for him to have, gone on national TV to say quite a number of things, he knew that maybe there'll be a way out from it at the end of the day. What do you make of this case? Is this the best, way to undo El-Rufai's case? Because what he did, I mean, any Nigerian should not even do that. Not to talk of a big shot in the politics of Nigeria. El-Rufai, a former governor, he's been in politics for years, and he went on national TV to say, I listened to the conversation over NSA, that's Nuru Badu. But at the end of the day, we are just hearing, we are Johnny, we are doing this, we are doing that. At the point, he was with the EFCC. At some point, they said he was with the ICPC. At some point, DSS even said they had him. Now, DSS is saying, he's still with the ICPC. We've not been able to have access to him. What is really going on looking at this case, really?
Like you said, El-Rufai is a big wig in the political space. Former minister for Abuja, former governor of Kaduna State. He's not somebody you can just be tossing here and there anyhow. No. I'll say that again. He's not. So is anybody above the law? No. But he's not somebody you can just be tossing up and down anyhow. He's a big wig. You respect that fact that this man is a big
But he's
wig.
being tossed currently.
Yes. But even at that, there's still some, there's this word I want to try to get. They are still treading softly. Look at it, they say, if he was not a politician, if he was not a governor, do you think we will still be on this case? He would have finished this matter and then throw him where he belongs. But so that's number one. Then number two, he's saying he listened to the conversation of NSA and picking out some things that the NSA said. Has the NSA come out to say everything they said is a lie? Are we thinking that way? As NSA came out to say that
El-Rufai mentioned something that they imported some chemicals into the country, and then Nuru Badu came out to say no, that is not correct. That if at all is saying that, he should provide evidence for that. Yeah.
Okay, that said, has the NSA been able to disclaim everything he said? Okay, let me not go too far. See, there are some iota of truth in what El-Rufai said. Hence why he has a ground to say, did I lie against you? Is it not the truth? Is it not this? Is it not that? Is it a lie? Is it not true? Okay, you are telling me to provide evidence. Can you also provide evidence that you didn't do it, that you don't have it? You get it? So there is a lot. There's a lot weaved into it here and there. So as much as they are trying to be careful on their own part on the information that have been leaked, they are also trying to be careful on mishandling him because he has information. Don't think everything he said on national TV is everything he has.
You think he still has more?
No, come on.
Okay, we'll get to know. I want to believe that before the general elections, I want to believe they have been able to solve, all of this, going on with El-Rufai. A big thanks to you, Victor Akileni, for being a part of this discussion this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, we need to take a short break. When we come back, we move on to Big Story. Please stay with us.
any other government official here, please I extend my regards. It is a joy and a great honor to be with you again this year. We give thanks to Almighty God for sparing our lives and keeping us together to see another Ramadan. And a great Ramadan that coincides with that of the Christian faith. You know what it means. Discipline, sacrifice, faith, resilience, strong determination for us to continue to brace together, pray together, and love one another. I want to thank all of you for what you have been able to get achieved so far. I thank God for what we've been able to achieve together. I didn't expect this number to show up because some people are still buried in their various congresses and other local government or state level. I will advise those in the same party with me to please bear in mind that those little ones too, they do cry. Tolerate everybody, be able to structure in this period of faith, unity, harmony, and sacrifice that you are pleading. Do it. And let the young ones breathe. I must revert to the generosity of Professor Zulum. I saw the layout of those Ramadan outreach, both for the Christian and Muslim. That is a very, very good spirit. I watched the story. You look more robust. I thought you would eat all the 300,000 shares of the place. To all of you, I'm very, very grateful because we've seen progress. We've seen commitment to duty. But please, I appeal again, let's go further to...
All right, welcome to the big story. Samson Balogun is my name. Nigeria stands at a critical crossroad in a nation where the budget for safety often disappears into shadows of confidentiality. The clamor for transparency has never been louder. Every year, billions of naira are dispersed under the veil of security votes, a relic of military rule that allows executive discretion over public funds without the prying eyes of auditors or the legislature. Today we pull back the curtain on this camouflaged cash as insecurity persists despite these massive allocations. So we ask, where is the money going? And more importantly, who is watching the watchmen? And joining us to navigate this labyrinth of defense spending and national safety is the distinguished security expert, Dr. Kunle Okunola. Today, it's about price of peace and the cost of silence. This is the big story. But very quickly, let me take you through this. The timing of our conversation today could not be more symbolic. Just this week, the corridors of power at the State House in Abuja witnessed a significant transition. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu formally decorated a new acting Inspector General of Police, IGP, Tunji Disu, pinning the insignias of authority on a man now tasked with steering the nation's internal security through turbulent waters. In that ceremony, the president's charge was clear: lead firmly and restore confidence. This appointment comes on the heels of the sudden resignation of Kayode Egbetokun and underscores a presidency that is under immense pressure to deliver tangible safety to Nigerians. But the president's rhetoric didn't stop at the State House. Earlier this week, during an interfaith gathering in Abuja, just like you watched earlier, a setting of solemnity and unity, President Tinubu addressed the nation's spiritual and political leaders. He was candid, admitting that security is the foundation of prosperity and that without it, farms cannot flourish and families cannot sleep in peace. He made a definitive promise: the establishment of the state police will not be postponed. Yet, as the president calls for hard work and hard prayers and pledges more resources to the front line, of the old ghost of accountability remains. If we are to empower new leadership and create new police structure, we must first address the leakages in current system. We must talk about the security votes, and that we'll talk about this morning. But before we go further, let's see and of course listen to what the president said about the new Acting Inspector General of Police, Tunji Disu. We'll be back shortly.
The Acting IGP, Tunji Disu, your declaration today is not simply a conferment of rank, but a solemn charge to serve Nigeria with courage, integrity, and unwavering commitment to the Constitution. I took this decision for you to assume this responsibility because I know your record. I believe in dedication that you've exhibited while you were in Lagos and I was the governor of Lagos State. And now you assume this responsibility at a defining moment for our nation's security, and expect you to strengthen the discipline, enhance interagency collaboration, and restore public confidence in Nigerian police. Lead firmly but fairly, demand professionalism at every level, and ensure that safety of lives and property remains our highest priority. It's a daunting challenge. I know you can do it. You have my full support as you have to advance the security pillars of Renew Hope agenda. You are a straightforward individual, committed and respected. You have sufficient amount of discipline. And you can draw from experience of Kayode Egbetokun, who had been there before you. The commitment I need from you is for you to make it better than you met it. And I'm sure you can do it. Nigeria is challenged right now with banditry, terrorism, and all sorts of criminal activities. You've been part of the thinking, and you've been part of the innovation. The challenge as you hold the baton of this leadership is the belief that you will excel and Nigeria will prevail.
All right, that was the president charging the new acting IGP, and he was so sure that he could do it. Let me bring Dr. Kunle Okunla on board. Let's talk about security in Nigeria. Good to have you in the studio, Dr. Kunle.
Good morning. Thanks for having me again. Good morning, Nigerians.
What exactly was the intention behind security votes in the first place?
Security votes are discretionary funds that are allocated to states, governors for addressing security challenges in their respective states. The funds are meant to supplement federal efforts in maintaining law and order, and are usually shrouded in secrecy due to their sensitive nature. The security vote, they are discretionary, meaning that the governors
There's no
of each
constitutional backing for it.
no, they can spend it,
At their own discretion.
at their own discretion, and they are non-audited, and they are also non-budgeted funds, and they are huge amount of money, annually, totaling to about 250 billion. And that's a huge amount of money. For instance, between 2023 and 2025, Nigeria committed about 525 billion naira into security votes, and yet kidnappings and banditry are on the increase. The intention is to enhance security, but the lack of clear guidance and oversight has led to concerns about it.
Okay, so why is it treated as confidential expenditure in the first place?
Because security informations, they are treated confidential, and so you can't preempt what will happen as per insecurity. So the intention of the federal government is for the state governors to have this money in case there is an upsurge of any insecurity in their state, and they use it. It's not budgeted because it is not meant for a particular thing. It's money that is there that in case anything happens, in terms of insecurity,
Funds put in place to be
yeah,
proactive.
that's right. But this is Nigeria. The most of the time, the money are used for personal issues, or they're used, for party thing. There's been cases of several governors in Nigeria that have misused security votes. There was a time right here in Oyo State that a serving governor was removed because the chieftain of the ruling party at that time claimed that he has, right to the security vote. I think about 70% of the security vote. And because the governor refused to give him, he was unconstitutionally removed, and he was removed. You understand? The intention is right. I know these grants, from foreign grants to Nigeria. The federal government gets theirs, and the federal government shares, the state's own, depending on the state.
Volatility of the
state. Of the state, because some gets very high, some gets very low. But the truth is that the money are not being used for the purpose for which it was meant for. Look at the scandal that a lot of people believe led to the resignation of the former IG. His son Victor, 100 million naira that was meant, to be part of the security votes of Anambra Street was transferred to his account. And a whistleblower, blew it and said, trace this thing, and it was traced, and it was found to be so. How can a security vote meant for a whole state be transferred? The police had come out and said it was a mistake. What kind of mistake is that? That 100 million, Anambra State collects 850 million security votes.
And 100 million of that
was taken to...
was mistakenly sent.
That
was what they said.
Yeah, that was what they said. Mistakenly sent into the account of the serving Inspector General of Nigeria, who was meant to be proactive in bringing security, of lives and properties. And this is what has been going on in Nigeria. And this is one of the reasons why banditry and kidnapping has been on a rise, because the bandits know, the terrorists, they know that governors are receiving security votes and they are not using the money for the purpose. Let's take our own share from it. All right. So instead of curbing insecurity, all right, security votes has led to, increase in insecurity in different states.
So is it safe to say that this is why we now have more corrupt police officers? And of course, is it safe to say that security votes should be subjected to legislative monitoring and audits?
I think that as important as we left to the discretion of the governors, it shouldn't be unaudited, and it shouldn't be something that will not be subjected to the scrutiny of the legislature. So I believe that to curb, misuse and embezzlement, it's high time the government set up a committee that will be monitoring how the security vote will be used. Nobody is asking that the security vote should be removed, because it's very important. We need it. We need it. And the security of lives and property is very important. Section 14B.
But the House should perform an oversight function on it.
They should perform an oversight function. They should look into it. They should bring each governor of every state, to account. And the governor should be accountable. It's not something that, because these are a huge amount of money. For instance, Oyo State is collecting 1 billion naira every month.
That's 12 billion naira
That's
a year.
12 billion a year.
Unaccounted for.
You just leave that unaccounted for. It's enormous. It's enormous. River State collects 3.2 billion every month. We're talking of billions a. So it's not something that should not be accounted for. I think the reason why it's left there is that is because this money is a grant, foreign grants. And the governor knows that the federal government is collecting is, why should you poke nose into us? So if we are going to start to account for it, then it must start from the federal government. Let's know how much the federal government collects and how it's being spent. And let's know how much each governor, the federal government has said that, they start printing, sizing how much each governors are earning, which is good. But let's know how much the federal government gets, and let's know how much they spend there. Then we can hold our governors accountable.
Okay, now very quickly before we come back to the governors, let's beam our searchlight on the crimes of corruption being committed in the police. Now let's trace it back in history, and let's see how that has become a problem for Nigerians. Okay, let's talk about 2018 to 2020, Ibrahim Magu versus police leadership. The former acting chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Ibrahim Magu, accused some senior police officers of undermining anti-corruption efforts. In 2020, Magu himself was investigated by a presidential panel over alleged misconduct, raising broader questions about interagency rivalry and accountability within security institutions. Eventually, Ibrahim Magu had to leave. Now, let's talk about the super core. That is talking about Abba Kyari and his FBI indictment. In 2021, Deputy Commissioner of Police Abba Kyari was indicted by the United States Federal Bureau of Investigation over alleged links to international fraud suspect Ramon Abbas, aka Hush Puppy. The case drew global attention and led Kyari's suspension and prosecution in Nigeria. The incident raised serious concerns about integrity and senior operational levels. Till now, Abba Kyari is said to be in jail over crimes committed, especially in terms of corruption. Now, going back to as far as 2005, let's talk about Tafa Balogun and his conviction. Former Inspector General of Police, Tafa Balogun was convicted on corruption charges involving misappropriation of public funds. He pleaded guilty and forfeited assets. In fact, at the time, people were said to be going to his house and even in roofs, in tanks,
the monies,
drainages, monies were kept in there, meant for police reforms. This remains one of the most prominent corruption cases involving a police chief in Nigeria's history. Now, there has been allegations against senior officers over arms procurement from various years to different years in the police. And Nigerians are complaining about the fact that the police are not well equipped. When you see some police officers out there, not well dressed, and you are sad that these are meant to be people protecting lives and properties of average Nigerians. If you are hungry, if you are not well taken care of, how do you take care of other people? Dr.
can't perform. The problem is hydra-headed. You know, when people look at junior officers on the street collecting 20 naira, 15 naira, and they said that the police is corrupt, you know, those are not the real corrupt police officers. The real corrupt officers, they're just tools. Because even the 20 naira, 30 naira that have been, you know, taken on the street, they still have to account to it to their superior officer.
We make so amount of money today, like a tax collector.
Yes.
That refunds and of course sends rebates.
You get your own rebates. There are instances when the DPO has visitors and just call a few officers, go and mount a guard and it's also amount to entertain my visitors. And, you know, they have to, of course, they have to make their own too. But the truth is that senior police officers are corrupt. Very, very corrupt. And that is why it's a bit difficult for them to curb the corruption of the junior officer. Because they know we're taking our own, you know, and take your own, make how much is what you are getting, you know. How much is what you are getting? I've seen on the road where a Marua driver wanted to give a police officer, and I was inside the Marua, and he's telling the police that I don't have change, and the police said I have change. So he gave him 200 naira. The police gave him 100 naira, and I was like, wow.
What did you sell to him? What are you buying from?
Nothing, absolutely nothing. And the patrol van, you know, was there, and the seniors that had left them, you know, to that place was inside the patrol van, seeing these things that happen. He cannot curb it because, in fact, he's monitoring how much
the process.
Yes, so that they don't hide money. So when you have situation like this, it becomes difficult. You can't prevent what you permit. It is not. It's not possible. Yorùbá ní o lè súfèé kó sunkún símú. It's not possible. You have to allow one and disallow the other. You know, from your account, very senior police officers in Nigeria, it's on record that they are corrupt. And what the president did about Egberuko, I want to tell you sincerely that it's the president just helped him to save face, because when you look into it very, very well, the money might not really be meant for his son, might be meant for himself. Because at a meeting, the president just said, you have to resign. You know, so it's just like helping him to save face. You know, so there's a huge task in the hand of Tunde Disu now. Huge task. Abakari, you know, fortunately, this is the man that replaced Abakari when he was removed. You know, and on record, he did very well. But you know, when you get to that post, Inspector General of Police, there are so many opportunities for you to make money legally and illegally. All right, we're just trusting, and like he said, that we should be praying for him. We're just trusting God that, you know, all these praises and whatever will not enter his head. And for once we have a police officer that we perform. We had it before, 1970, 71 to 1976. You know, when what's the name of this man that was Inspector General of Police? This Oxford train, the name was coming and was going. We had a perfect police officer that was, I mean, yes, that was helping even the military to get informations. There was no coup before that time that the police did not get a wind of it. In fact, so many coups were thwarted because the police, you know,
were on top of their game in terms of intelligence gathering.
And there were times that, yes, even in West African nations, they know some presidents, you know, employed our Nigerian MD Yusuf. MD Yusuf was the IG then, you know, that these nations employed, the science of our police to help them get information, to thwart, coup and whatever that was reigning at that time, But when Murtala Mohammed died, as a result of envy, the military, the army, they blamed it on the police that you are the one that didn't give us enough intelligence. And the police said that MD said, we gave you enough intelligence. We knew that Dinka, was planning to come and we told you, but he didn't do enough about it. So the Nigerian government then, led by our former president, who was the head of state, Buhari, took away the intelligence gathering branch. It was called the branch. Took it away from the police and gave it, to the military, and they set up other intelligence gathering agencies. That was the problem of
the beginning of an end.
Yes, for Nigeria when it comes to gathering intelligence. So when we have the police inspector general, all right, that is competent and that is willing, then we're going to be able to rid of all this corruption that is in the police. The truth is that most senior police officers, they are corrupt.
Now,
even commissioners, all right, go to some commissioners' office, especially on Monday or Wednesday, you see people bring in things.
What sort of gifts?
Yes. The meat sellers, they bring cows. The clothes sellers, they bring clothes. To what end?
Can that be considered an inducement?
Yeah, that's an inducement. You understand? Turnover Jedodo. Somebody has brought 5 cows to me, and I heard that he has committed a crime. Will I be able to go and stop him? I cannot do that. So all this has to stop. Then we can now talk about the welfare of the police officers. And in fairness to the present government, he has really tried. If you look at the salary structures of the police, it has been upgraded. It has been upgraded. And he insists that every 3 years, there must be promotion. Yes, there must be promotion.
You were so confident in the new IG.
Because the antecedents.
He knows him so much.
He worked with him in Lagos State. Tunde Dizu was the head of the Rapid Response Squad.
RRS.
Yes, and that was the team that was responsible for curbing every form of insecurity in Lagos State. And the pattern laid at that time is what they are still enjoying today. And that was why it's difficult for the bandits to penetrate Lagos, because this man laid a solid foundation, and he worked directly with the president. And one thing about the president that I've studied is that is a people-oriented person. It keeps relationship. Anyone that worked with him that was competent, if you study right from the time he was governor, he always uplift them when he has opportunity.
Okay, let's talk about the Police Service Commission.
Yeah.
In all of this, what role does the Police Service Commission play? Do they have what it takes to instill discipline in top-ranking officers?
The problem is there was a time that even the Police Service Commission was alleged
rocked by corruption.
By corruption, most of the pensions and payment meant for retired officers, they are being held by the Police Service Commission, and there are so many officers that the Police Commission, have ratified as, promoted, but the promotion did not get to the officers, and the money for the promotion is getting into the hands of the people in charge of police commission. I think like Tunde Disu promised when he said he's going to work hand in hand with the Police Service Commission, because if one is lifting, one is pulling down, then it cannot work. We are just trusting and praying that God will just help us in this nation, because this is a sensitive area, and we can't just leave it like that. We are talking of security of lives and properties. And when it comes to internal security, it's the work of the police, Okay.
So, to what extent does a political influence shield senior police officers from investigation?
politics is
because eventually security votes has to do with politics.
Yes.
It is being politicized as we speak. And most of the times, senior police officers are usually close to governors.
I watched an interview by someone, I don't want to mention name, and it was bringing a revelation. He said, with what happened to Egbetokun's son, Victor, that he said he transferred 100 million to his account. He said, it's something that he has always known, that apart from the governors sharing the money with political party members and using the rest for his personal use, he said some senior police officers even have shares.
The benefit.
They benefit from, some governors, and that's alarming. If we are having that, then there is no way that the fund allocated by the federal government, to state security votes can be effective, because there are so many people that are cutting the cake. At the end of the day, the largest share is almost gone, and that is why insecurity persists in this nation. Politics has robbed us of integrity in this nation, integrity of officers, integrity of good men, in political appointments and things like that.
Talking about integrity, Dr. Kulokola, should police officers be made to publicly declare asset as a confidence-building measure?
I think when you get to certain ranks, I think from the commissioner role, there should be declaration of assets, so that we know what you have, what you're worth when you become, the commissioner, and as you go on, we know what you're worth, so that if at the end of the day there is a discrepancy, in the amount you had and the amount you now have, then we can talk of, prosecution. We can talk of prosecution. So all these things has to be put in place. Choosing the new inspector general is okay. The president was talking of antecedent that he trusts this man. It was the commissioner of police in Rivers State, was commissioner of police in Abuja, and he did very well. So every Nigerian should keep praying and trusting that he will deliver, because he has a huge task in his hand. He has a huge task within the police, itself. The division, there are people that believe that, the officers that believe that, it was junior to certain officers. There are people that believe that tribalism has been set into it, because Frank Umba was a deputy superintendent of deputy inspector general, which is a higher rank to assistant inspector general. So by rank, the DIG should be the IG, But the president said it's not ethnicity.
Some also argue that Tuji Disu came into the police force in 1992, while Frank Uba came in the year 1994.
Yes.
So by enlistment,
he
Tuji
was there.
is the senior. But Frank Uba benefited from rapid promotion. Within 5 years, he was promoted 3 times.
And sincerely, I mean, this is just...
the same thing is happening to Benjamin Hundeyin as we speak.
Yes.
He's been promoted about 3 times in the space of 5 years.
Yes. When you have... it's just natural. When you have your person at the helm of affairs, and he trusts you, then they're going to be rapid promotion. And constitutionally, it's at the discretion of the president to appoint service chiefs. It's at the discretion of the president. And of course, we are going to put in place the person you trust for sensitive positions like
Dr.
this.
Kuliokola, just before we go, a question just popped up, and I'm going to ask you this in less than 1 minute, just before we go. Should Nigeria consider an independent civilian review board for police leadership misconduct?
We cannot have independent civilian, a board to question the police. Just like you cannot have an independent civilian board, to try hiring, army officers. each of these military and paramilitary organizations have their own
disciplinary
committee. And so when you take it away, it's like you are reducing the tenacity, of the power of the agency. All we need to do is for the federal government to empower, the disciplinary committee that they have, and make sure that they are effective. That's what I believe we should do. We can't take it away from them.
All right, Dr. Kunle Okola, thank you for joining me on this show this morning.
Thank you very much for
having me. It has been an eye-opening session with you.
Thank you.
We do want to bring you back some other time and discuss extensively about the police.
That's
a lot of questions to be asked.
Yes.
But then we'll find a time to talk about security.
Thank you very much. And we congratulate Tunde Disu on his new appointment, and we pray he will perform.
We do hope that he gets to do something really massive for Nigerians. Yes. All right. As we wrap up today's edition of The Big Story, one thing is abundantly clear. Security is not just about the number of boots on the ground or the rank of the officer in the saddle. It is about the integrity of the system that fuels them. Dr. Kunle Okola has reminded us that secrecy must not be a synonym for corruption. If the president's promise of a more secure Nigeria is to be fulfilled, then the era of our unrecorded billions must give way to a regime of verifiable impact. We cannot play our way out of insecurity while we bleed our way through unaccounted spending. Thank you, Dr. Kunle Okola, for your profound insights, of course, on the show today. And you at home, remember, a nation is only as secure as the trust between its leaders and its people. I am Samson Balogun. Good morning and stay vigilant.
Need a professional space to bring your vision to life? Dominion Television Studios offers state-of-the-art facilities perfect for your next broadcast, commercial, corporate video, or live event. With flexible rental options, cutting-edge equipment, and a supportive team, we provide the perfect environment for high-quality productions. Unleash your creativity. For bookings, email us at marketing@dominion.org.ng. Call us on 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast and on X at Dominion Cast. Book your space today. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
I welcome you back. Thank you for staying with us. We need to take change water before we see our BYE on the show this morning. I'm glad to be back here with Samson. Can you repeat what you said the other time?
Well, the president shows us his way of, playing with words.
Okay, so the president dropped another bold statement recently.
The bombshell.
I think that was yesterday, exactly. He said, "I'm accused of killing opposition in Nigeria, but I have no gun." He's going poetic these days. I have no gun. Why should you tell me I'm the one that is trying to kill the opposition party? He said he doesn't blame people who decide to jump out of a sinking ship. And so Nigerians are asking, what does he mean, by saying that? What does he mean by, he doesn't blame people who jump out of a sinking ship? What is that sinking ship? Or maybe at the end of the day, can he explain to Nigerians? But then the president has said what, he wants to say. And I think I recall maybe I think about last year now, there was a time President Bola Ahmed Tinubu said something that, you know, is not the reason why the opposition parties, you know, are in disarray, but he enjoys, you know, looking at them, looking at how they are playing the opposition party, and of course, this all we don't understand each other that is going on within the opposition party. So this is the issue that we are talking about this morning, and of course, I would love to get your opinion on that.
Well, I think the president has been so vocal about the fact that yes, if a political party that happens to be an opposition to me is in disarray, I am happy. He has said that countless times, and I mean you cannot blame the president for saying that. For a sitting president, you should be happy that an opposition party is in problems, because that reduces your headache going into the election, especially for Nigeria that we start preparing for an election just a few months after you have been elected into a position. So it means that the president is really enjoying his stay in the office right now. He's probably not too bothered about what's going on out there, because it feels like he has most governors in the country. If I'm not mistaken, he has over 30, and there is even a link that Taraba State might also join, because every member of the House of Assembly in that state, they have resigned from the People's Democratic Party (PDP), and there are rumors that they are heading to the APC, and it's not clear yet. Probably by today or tomorrow they will announce where they are going to, but they have resigned. They say, "Oh, we are not a part of this political party anymore." But the thing is, as it stands, you cannot publicly claim that the president has killed any opposition party in Nigeria, because there are no facts, there are no evidences. It is the job of an opposition party to make sure that they keep their houses clean, so that they don't have opposition, or the ruling party having people in their political party infiltrating and getting to eavesdrop on whatever it is they discuss and then taking it to the other meeting. But unfortunately, the PDP has a lot of moles right now, but you can't really say who are the moles. I'll cite an instance. Wike has wined and dined with the APC, but he's a member of the PDP. In fact, as it stands with the current judgment that they have, there might be another judgment tomorrow. The party belongs to his caucus. And all these and more is a reason why the PDP has continually been linked with possible internal implosion and likely death of the political party. A party that was once said to be the biggest political party in Africa. A party that once said they were going to rule for 50 years after they did 16 years. Unfortunately, they could not continue from there. So it says a lot about how the party actually collapsed. I think selfishness was one of the reasons. And some people were too obsessed with power.
I think it's too much hype, you know, just like people who say that too much hype on 2020.
Of course, the MDGs, the Millennium Development Goals. And of course, when 2020 came, Corona actually showed up. So it became a problem.
The hype was too much.
It was too much. So I think the party now think they thought too much of themselves. So at the time when they should be re-strategizing on what to do next, the party was dying, but nobody in the party was seeing it. Only the opposition was seeing that, which was the ACN that eventually metamorphosed to the APC.
And the CPC.
They were seeing it at that time. They knew what exactly to do. And when Ataru Jega, who was a no-nonsense man, came as the electoral umpire, as the chairman of the electoral umpire in the country, yes, it became so clear that if there was something close to a free and fair election, then no political party is even sure of winning the election, because if you don't prepare, then there will be a problem. The PDP now, of course, they are not preparing. The ADC, I'm not sure they are too, because they also have their internal problems, which the only thing I see is that they are not discussing it. If they are discussing, then you also see that they also have issues. But above all, I want to believe that the president is right for saying all of this. I mean, you cannot, he's not a member of the PDP, so he cannot kill the party. The only thing he can do is to probably find one or two of his trusted lieutenants and say, look, join this political party. Tell them you are no longer a member of the APC. And from in there, you can start, doing one or two, which is not too out of place for a country like Nigeria that has so much complicated political base. So I believe that is the only thing that is happening. But openly, you cannot accuse the president of killing your party. I mean, that would be too much of a bold statement.
Exactly, and then one more thing is, except for the fact that we've seen some politicians recently come out to say that APCs are harassing us for not joining the party. I'll give you an example. I mean, even Erifai, there was a time he said, APCs are harassing him because, he left the party. But then we've seen governors who left, PDP and other political parties, Labour Party, and then they came out to say, we left to join the APC to align with the center. What's the meaning of that? I'll give you an example of a governor that said that, Governor Imo, he said that, and then another governor in the East came out to say that, oh, I joined the APC because I'm in love with the policies of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So these are the things that you will hear and you'll be wondering what is going on. But then, to the opposition parties, I think blaming President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, entirely is laziness at best. Look at what APC is doing, mobilizing. We have the City Boy movement. I think recently I heard about the
ambassadors.
Exactly. Look, but then I think there's a counter. I don't want to call it counter now, but I'm hearing about the Village Boys movement now. And this is separate from the City Boys movement. I think this faction belongs to the obedience, the opposition, and the like. So APC is putting in the work, but then most opposition parties are just complaining.
You see, anybody who blames other people for their problems, that's the height of unseriousness you'll find anywhere. Okay, you are responsible for what happens to you, because you have to prepare for everything that is being thrown at you. Okay, and I believe that if you now sit even as an individual and say, oh, Yemi is the reason why I did not do this, then you are not serious. Because you must be able to take Yemi out of the equation.
At the end of the day, you are the owner of your life.
At the end of the day, it all boils down to what you do for yourself.
You are the owner of your life.
But then, let's take one or two comments before we go this morning. Okay, Aki says, shots fired at the PDP. Don't sink the ship, jump out and attempt saving your life. That's coming from Aki this one. Also, Mani says, Tinubu is a master strategist, but emotions would not let you all agree with this. And Most Wanted says, we are gradually going into one-party system. Well, everyone has, an opinion.
Definitely. And of course, the last comment, Sham Mystery says, yellow house boys know to the like sinking ships. Maybe that person will need to define yellow house boys to us.
Well, we might have to define that.
We play too much in this country.
Well, it's a fine place to leave it on this show this morning. We say thank you for being a part of the show so far. Do not forget to link up with us on all socials: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok at Dominion Broadcast, and on X, formerly Twitter at Dominion Cast. Join us again tomorrow on Daybreak Live Extra on Dominion Television. We call it the Owambe edition, and of course, the world, just like we said, click on those buttons and of course like and follow, subscribe to our channels. As I always say, keep being good out there, keep being safe. Samson Balogun is my name. Bye for now.
Be intentional about your goals, and of course you have the capacity to bring them to pass. My name is Oluwayemi Adelakun. Good morning.